Hey guys, welcome to Golf Ball Addict. I got another ball review here for you today. To be honest with you, Srixon is one of my most favorite companies to review a golf ball from, whether it's their Tour line grade. They have a model just under that, the Q-Star Tour, even just the Q-Star. Honestly, I've tested all these golf balls, and honestly, they perform really well. I have so much success with them. The numbers always seem to hit the sweet spot for me. They jump off the club face. The spin always seems to be just perfect. Honestly, I really enjoy testing them, and most of the time on the course, I find myself using them. Srixon, however, has released a different model of the Q-Star Tour, which the Q-Star Tour is essentially their moderate swing tour golf ball. It's the budget tour ball. Runs about $32, $33 a dozen, and honestly, it performs really well. However, this is kind of a different rendition of that. It's supposed to have a different cosmetic design, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it today. Let's find... What in the great googly moogly is this witchcraft? All right then, so let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room right now. This is a very unique design golf ball. Golf ball companies essentially now are starting to do the matte colors like green, yellow, orange. You are seeing a little bit more of that. It's becoming a little bit more accepted than it used to be. But dividing it right down the middle and doing two totally separate clashing colors is something that honestly is something that I imagined wouldn't be done ever. I would have never imagined Srixon or anybody would make a golf ball quite like this. But there is method to the madness. So Srixon is claiming a couple of things. Srixon is claiming that with this design of the golf ball, it's going to allow you to get some feedback from chips and putts around the green, and that's something I definitely will be testing. What they claim is, one, the alignment tool. Now, if you guys watch my channel, you know I love alignment tools. This one, instead of having an alignment bar on the side, the whole golf ball is an alignment tool. Essentially, you line it up on the green just like that, you can putt it, and it gives you some great feedback, because if you do pull your putt a little bit or push it, you're going to see the wobble in the golf ball opposed to it going straight, and the colors are going to be very bright and neon-like, and it's going to show up. I can see already without testing it that that's probably true. I mean, I can see how that would definitely help. Another thing it's designed to do is it is going to show you some, like when you're chipping around the green, you know, getting those off the green chips, you know, bump and runs, things like that. It's going to show you your spin. So if the ball kind of has a little bit of side spin, you should be able to see that, and it's going to give you some feedback as far as, hey, my club path maybe isn't right, or my face isn't right, because the ball just isn't responding to that. That'll be tested as well. So interesting design here, but honestly, it's going to be different. There's nothing on the side there, as you can see. It is just a complete half and half 50 design ball. And of course on the front, the Srixon Q-Star Tour, great logo, great number. Doesn't seem like they did anything there. So moving right along, I guess let's just get into the testing. All right, guys, so just some thoughts around the green. First of all, let's start with the chipping. So the feel off of the wedge around the green is phenomenal. It checks up just like every other Srixon ball. Really, honestly, it's a 5-star performance all around. The feel is incredible. It has this very slight, gentle, firm press that lets you know whether you hit it well or not, but by the same time, it still jumps off the club. It's the perfect balance. I usually have a lot of success with the Srixon balls when it comes to that, and this ball is no different. So I really enjoyed that. The ball checks up very well. There's a very good tug, which honestly with the matte finish, I'm not a huge fan of the matte finishes a lot of the time, so I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to work, but Srixon does promise that this is still a urethane cover. How they get the urethane cover on there with it being matte, it must be a blend, must be just kind of a little top coat there, but it works just fine. It still tugs, it still has a lot of pull, and I do like how it looks when it comes off the club. This ball's spinning creates this weird color, you know, that it almost looks a little bit green when it's coming off the club. It's very unique, and the design is growing on me, so I love that about it. Off the putter, again, the feel is phenomenal. That gentle press with my mallet putter lets me know, you know, whether or not I hit it off the toe or inside, and the ball just has this gentle glide to it. It's really nice. And I also want to talk about how awesome the alignment tool really does work. As you can see from these videos right here, I just kind of played around with it, and you can see from there that if you hit it straight, you can really tell. The alignment tool, you know, keeps pretty centered and goes there, but if you do pull it or push it like there, you can see that it has a wobble to it, and that gives you instant feedback to know not only where you hit it, but whether you pushed it or pulled it. And that's very, very, very important for a lot of young golfers or golfers that are new to the game. Getting that type of feedback, honestly, I think is exactly what Srixon's going for, and it earns 5 stars pretty much in all those regards. I'm very impressed so far. Hopefully these numbers as far as hitting into the net match up with this, because honestly it's looking good. All right, so after the 50-yard pitch, keep in mind I do use a 54-degree sand wedge for my 50-yard pitches. The golf ball tested about 8,075 RPMs. Now that's awesome, and one other thing I really did like about it is there was some good consistency there. Sometimes I'll test a golf ball, and unfortunately, you know, you'll hit one and it's 5,000, one's 11, and then, you know, it averages out in the middle. This is not the case here. The majority of everything was within a 2,000 RPM set. My miss hits were about 7,500, but my flushes were about 9,000 to 9,500. So it keeps it in a good range there, which is really impressive. And honestly, anything over 8,000 on the 50-yard pitch, I have found for me has been phenomenal. All right, so next up on the pitching wedge, I am going to mix it up a little bit. In the past, I've shown you both the spin RPM as well as the ball mile per hour speed, but after looking over all of the different golf balls I've tested, I've noticed that really they're 89 to 90 mile an hour no matter what, and it just doesn't make that much of a difference on the pitching wedge. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to go RPM from now on, full shots with a pitching wedge. The Srixon Divide got 7,890. That is very impressive. Anything over 7,500 is kind of what I'm looking for. I prefer the pitching wedge to be closer to 8, but only 100 off is no big deal. It's going to stop on a green. It's going to come back at you, and this cover really grips the green well. All right, so with the 7-iron, you're going to get a little bit more compression with the 7-iron. So here we're looking at 109.6 mile an hour ball speed. 110 is usually what I shoot for, so that's pretty much right in the realm of where I want to be. And then spin numbers were 5,667 RPM, which is right in that sweet spot of that 55 to 5,800. That's where I love it. Srixon balls have always usually hit that mark pretty perfectly. This one's no different. The trajectory was really nice. Honestly, all these numbers look really, really good. As far as the carry, it was a very consistent ball. And of course, last but definitely not least, we got the driver. So 230.7 miles per hour ball speed on the driver. 230 is about the mark I usually try to hit. I've been averaging about 229 lately, so that's actually a little bit better than I have been getting. The ball seems to jump off the driver very well. It definitely springs off the club, and it is very forgiving. Also, we're looking at, for a ball mile per hour speed, we're looking at 142.5. That is definitely above average for what I've usually been testing. Like I said, guys, it honestly jumps off the club very well. And then going into the spin numbers, we're actually looking at 2,451, which is very low compared to what I usually test. Most of the time, if I average about 2,700 usually, so sometimes I'll get 26 or even 25, but seeing that 24 is definitely something I enjoy seeing because I just don't see that a lot. Honestly, the golf ball performs really well in all aspects, whether it be the driver, the short game, the long irons, the mid irons. It really just performs well. It feels great. The feedback is great. It just has a phenomenal feel all around the golf course. Just really well performed, guys. I'm really impressed. All right, so after hitting those numbers, obviously those are really impressive. Gotta love those. The last thing, of course, last but not least, we are going to look at the durability. So Srixon's this is where Srixon's a lot of the time, you start to see why they're just slightly cheaper than the other tour golf balls. Sometimes they have mixed results when it comes to their durability. My Golf Spy, excuse me, has run a couple tests and seen that, you know, the consistency as far as the durability hasn't been great for them in the past. I personally have never had any issues, but I've had a lot of you guys on the channel tell me that you've had issues as well. So I know it's kind of wishy-washy. Majority of the time it's good, but you know, sometimes they do make a mistake. So I am interested to see how this ball holds up. With it being a matte finish, I honestly don't have high expectations because there has to be a trade-off somewhere. However, that is not the case. This golf ball looks brand spanking new. As you can see from this video right here, You can see my golf dot made it through most of it. The Tiger's still pretty intact. You know, golf ball, or the golf dot held strong, but the rest of this golf ball does not look like it really has been hit at all. And that's after about 90 shots, to be honest with you. It's after about 80 full shots and about 15 chipping, putting around the green. That's got to be, if not the best, that's got to be pretty close to the best durability I've ever tested on a golf ball, for sure. Because I just can't believe with this type of finish. I don't know what Srixon has done with the coating on this or how they've done this, but this is just really an all-around great golf ball. The numbers off of the net were fantastic. You know, putting around the green, the feedback, the alignment tool works great. Honestly, I'll be real with you. When I came into this golf ball and I saw it for the first time, it just screamed gimmick to me. A lot of these golf companies are doing gimmicks now to try to get you to buy, you know, because let's be honest, there's only so many ways you can make a golf ball, really. So stuff like this just feels unnecessary, but this holds strong. I mean, the alignment tool is great. I love putting with it. It has helped my putting a ton because it gives me so much feedback. Chipping around the greens is wonderful. The full shots are wonderful. I think a lot of people would benefit from this golf ball. If you're someone who has used the Srixon Q-Star Tour in the past and you loved it, getting the Divide, as long as you can stand, you know, to the design, is awesome. They do make 3 colors of this. They make it in the blue and yellow, they make it in the orange and yellow, and then they make it in the McDonald's red and yellow, which is by far the most atrocious of the 3, the Mick golf ball. Yeah, don't get me started on that one. But overall, if you can get past those designs, I recommend trying this one out because honestly, it fits all those boxes that the other Srixon balls have been doing and been really excelling at, but adds a bunch of feedback and really training tools. You know, I could even see this being a training ball. If you're someone who's like, nah, I use a Pro V1, but you know, I do go to the putting green and the chipping green and stuff, picking up maybe even just a sleeve of these just to use for feedback around the green and putting and chipping would probably benefit you. So this golf ball is going to hit a big market. Overall, I'm just very impressed, and honestly, I would recommend it to anybody. Who the market is for this? Probably anyone. The only one maybe not is if you're swinging the club 120 mile an hour, maybe not then, and if you're a brand new beginner and you can't find the center of the face and you're all over shooting in the high 100s, 120s, maybe not then, but everyone else in between should probably try this golf ball. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you being here. As always, keep watching to keep saving. More reviews are coming, and I've even got some other cool stuff we've been working on. It's all coming soon. Almost to 500 subscribers, guys. Thanks so much.